What up, everyone? As back as always. Um, yeah, so far no one else had shown up on my stream, but at least though I know what Game Guy will be here eventually at some point. Um, yeah, so yesterday, oh boy, Game Guy had a real reaction to one of my questions, like how big are the pancake domes on the planet Venus? Oh man, that was hilarious reaction. Oh goodness. Oh, this week has been hilarious. I mean, game show stream yesterday and all that. Game guy's reaction of one of my questions was priceless. Like, how big are the pancake domes on the planet Venus? And he's just his reaction to that was just, hey, Crystal Brody, yeah, I'm doing good. It just, a normal day. It just has been a normal day today. And we have this guy here. Um, yeah, my day actually hasn't even been much eventful, to be honest. And just so far, um, it actually been a normal, least nice summer day, and we don't even have any particular heat wave uh, for the moment, though. We have been expecting, well, some experts have been predicting it's going to be another, my game guy. So expected it's going to be a heat wave here, but it's hard to be saying to be exact when it's going to happen or how long it's going to last. We did had one last year, lasted, I think we had almost, I think almost 90, 95 degrees. It lasted for about 2, 3 weeks. But it's not like the longest heat wave. Um, the longest heat wave we had in my country was back in 2018. And I'll tell you, it was one of the worst heat waves we had in a long time. And it was around 95, almost 100 degrees in certain areas of the country. Um, yeah, I'm just saying it was really bad. It lasted from early June to late August. And we have a lot of forest fires across the country. Yeah, I wouldn't mind to be your friend. What kind of game are you playing though? Uh, Game guy. The reason why Game Guy isn't talking is that he had to use his phone edition for now, and he is stuck in private chat in order to talking, and his dad is refusing to turn down his game apparently. Phone edition, as Game Guy call it. Yeah, it's well, let's say Game Guy had a little problem for a couple days now with his Chromebook. Just suddenly didn't want to work for him anymore, and he had been using it for what was it, 4 or 5 years by that like this point. So his dad suggested that he put his Chromebook tablet or something in in the free not um, in refrigerator in the kitchen to cool down, and he literally did it. I don't know what though. I know. Okay, first, don't do that to any electronics in a freezer, because if you do, yeah, you don't have any electronics that works. I mean, okay, I mean there is phones or watches that's waterproof to certain depths in lakes, something like that. Um, um, yeah, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't be surprised if. I mean, I know that certain technologies that some tablets can actually be working underwater. Cameras works, so why not with tablets and all that? Um, well, my real name is actually Sam, so I just give you that much. Um, yeah, I mean, uh, yeah. And game guy, you remember your reaction yesterday? Pancake domes. Oh my god, that was just. And your dad's playing Guardian of the Galaxy. Yeah, I never actually seen any of that movies actually, or any of the TV show. Um, I basically have never even seen any of the adventures at all. It just um I really haven't been much as a fan of much of those type of movies, to be honest. I mean, I do like sci-fi. I mean, I do like sci-fi movies. It just adventures hasn't really much been uh hasn't really stuck to me as a franchise. I mean, I had even seen any of the most latest Spider-Man movies, Spider-Man: Homecoming, Far Home from Far Away, or even Spider-Verse, or even the before that one either. At least I know of those movies, but I just haven't seen them. Um, of all these sci-fi shows or movies that I have seen a lot of is actually Star Wars, Star Trek. I've probably seen every single Star Trek franchise series that has been from the very start until the currently. Um, well, except for one, Star Trek Lower Decks, which is one I really haven't seen much of a full episode, but I've seen clips from it on YouTube, so at least I know what the show is about. So that's something. Um, and Star Wars. Oh boy, oh boy. I've seen every single one, including the type of. They did actually some spin-off movies of the Ewoks, um, about a family that was stuck on Endor for some time. Um, Sadly, only the daughter of the family did survive eventually at some point there on. Um, I had seen um, Star Wars Christmas Edition back from the 1970s, shortly after the first movie. And the funny is that when Star Wars first came out, um, let's say the first movie, just before the first movie was even uh, had premiere, the movie company never even believed this movie was going to be a big hit at all. They believe that it's going to be just another movie out there and not much attention to it. But it actually did had a lot of. I mean, it's over almost 50 years later. The first movie came out, and it means sequel. You have a prequel. You have tons of games. You have dozens of TV shows, all from the early thousands, and from the 70s until now. It's um, it's incredible how any of that actually was eventually happened. And George Lucas, he actually bought the merchandise rights for only a for sure small amount of money though, and today it's worth I believe it's around $3 billion. So he made a huge profit in that. Even though that Disney now owns majority to the Star Wars, it's I mean even when George Lucas still owned most entirely of the Star Wars franchise, he never explained of which species Yoda belonged to or where he was originally from. But when I found out that Disney bought the rights to Star Wars, I was like, okay, now that they own the rights, at least on the movie rights, then maybe we'll have added a name to Yoda's species and his where he's from. But they never did. They actually follow up it with George Lucas. George Lucas still owns the merchandise rights of Star Wars. Um, Yoda was actually this small green Jedi Master. He actually did appear in, well, technically not him, but he did actually end up in the movie E.T. the Extraterrestrial. I have seen that movie as, yeah, honestly, I have even any idea how many times I've seen that movie. I mean, I've seen it so many times I lost count. It's a great movie. One of the best movies that are out there in the sci-fi, except for Star Wars. I mean, I even know that it's gonna be another Star Wars movie being released sometime in December of 2023, actually. But I don't know exactly what's this one's gonna be about. This movie, though, I haven't any idea. I only found out it's gonna be a movie sometimes by the end of this year. But that's all I know. Then I know there's gonna be another one based on uh, a, I wouldn't say they would count as episode 10, considering Ray will reappear in another movie, and this movie is gonna be taking place about 15. Yeah, actually, exact 15 years later after episode 9, where she is actually is the sole Jedi Master and training a whole new generation of Jedi's. And I would say this: I wouldn't not be surprised if Finn, the former stormtrooper, would be one of her first students. Then it turns out he is force sensitive. He can use the force, but never done. And yeah, Ray is very much a unique character. Oh, my game guy. Um, yeah. So, and even when a lot of theories before episode 9 um and 10, sorry, before episode 7 and 9 and 8 even was published, or even after episode 7 came out, um no one didn't know exactly who Snoke were. Some believe that could have been Darth Sidious's old master somehow survived, but it wasn't. And some people even believed that Rey could have been Luke Skywalker's secret daughter, but it wasn't even her at all. Some even believe that maybe it was Obi-Wan's secret daughter. Slight problem that he never even had any family of his own, because he spent all his remaining life on Tatooine. He lived alone for years, so he was never even romantically involved with anyone. So Raya to be his granddaughter, yeah, it's I wouldn't I wouldn't say it's as that's even possibility. I mean, yeah, it was really some strange though. And even when Ray did die in episode 9, and when Kylo Ren, aka Ben Solo, he used his own life energy to revive Ray from being dying, and it did. But in the end, it caused his own life, and he vanished. He became part of the Force. Um, and Spirit, the movie about the horse, I've seen it at least twice. Um, I don't think I've seen the sequel to that one. Um, it's not a that bad movie, honestly. Um, there is another movie that I did see only once, long time ago. What was it? This is actually based on a book. Um, what was it called? I don't remember exactly what the title of the movie is, but it's something about swan trumpet, I believe. This male swan was mute. He couldn't talk, and he had a trumpet. While his father gave him a trumpet in order to produce sound or something, and he actually get to know a human boy who took him to this school where this particular swan was able to read and write. Yeah, that was a very much a unique story of a bird or a swan being able to go to a human's school to learn to read and write. And since himself was mute, his parents was, well, at least his father felt a little bit embarrassed that his son couldn't talk. And it's, yeah, and it's really something. And the Beer Brothers, oh, now that's a movie or a friend's small franchise. I mean, I heard there were some discussions of making the Beer Brothers as a live action movie, actually. But honestly, I don't know. I mean, the whole concept of ideas of making some Disney movies into live action is, well, let's say it's pretty much unique. And I mean, I know a lot of people know, uh, I know at least of some people that I know, including myself, thinks that most of the live actions has been ruined. Um, oh, he's back.
I am back, and look, I have a new device, and I can hear you so crisply.
Have you seen the Little Mermaid 2023 version live action?
I haven't yet, though.
Dude, I can tell you.
What, downloaded Discord? No, it's an actual stream. Sorry, my dad's curious because this whole thing's happening. Bye, what's up?
To be honest, the live action movie of Little Mermaid they made recently, not good as I expected to be.
Well, it can't be the worst live action
Uh, I mean,
remake, right?
um, well, I mean, they brought actually a whole new character named Queen Selena, to be the adopted mother of Prince Eric. Okay, that is not a bad idea. Um, in that the this seagull that was one of Ariel's friends ended up being they changed that to a female. Okay, I it's still not a bad idea. I mean, it's understandable if they want to change or something like that. I don't see anything wrong with that though. Um, Sebastian. Oh, I don't say so. Sebastian's design in this new movie is not a good one. I mean, compared to the he doesn't even look anything remotely as in the cartoon version at all. It's I don't know. I mean, I seen. both the original movies of The Mermaid and now this, and like, okay, yeah, I don't know what they even thought about this one. Yeah, so I mean, considering that they are planning to do some other live action movies with the next several years by now. I mean, there is actually a list on Wikipedia that's
Alright.
actually consists of wiki.
Okay, this is weird. For some
What?
reason, I signed in on Discord on this thing, and for some reason, it doesn't say game guy, it says Roy. So I'm not sure what's up with that. It's a little weird.
Hmm. You know, a lot of the movies that we had seen of the live actions, there's only one. There's only one that's not gonna happen. You
Which
know,
one?
uh, Pocahontas. Yeah,
Alright.
that's movie.
Oh,
Yeah,
by the way, I gotta go eat. So
again, what's for
yeah.
dinner? Steak.
How did you know me so well?
Well, yeah, that's basically all you eat now from these days. Either that or pasta or Chinese food.
Welcome to OCD, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, there's only thing that you only eat even so far. Unless you eat soup.
Yeah, I mean, yep, that means it's done. So back to the
Question.
back to the private jet.
Question. Would you eat? Would you eat if someone were to put a steak, potatoes, and blend it in a mixer like a smoothie? No, me either. uh, you know, and the reason why the Jungle Book Pocahontas was never actually it says here um, the live action in 2019 there was suggested that Pocahontas will not be remade as a live action adaptation in near future because it would remaking would likely be impossible to do modern sensibility, meaning it's going to be a little bit sensitive in that. So since The Mermaid was the recent live action they've made, there is actually a few more that's actually Mufasa the Lion King. The part that's going to be a prequel. It's going to actually be released next year along with Snow White. It's going to be another live action. Snow White as a live action, actually, it has been done a few others. I mean, Snow White and the Hunter, which I believe was the Warner Brothers made one. So it's not like gonna be the first live action of that one. And Pinocchio, yeah, Pinocchio. Well, that has actually not been any. Um, it's not the first live action. They were actually a few miniseries of Pinocchio. One was actually even made in Italy at one point. See here, other upcoming movies. Oh yeah, Peter Pan actually was released April 28th. Um, oh, oh, about that, I actually read some of the part of the storyline on Wikipedia about the movie. And this is a whole new concept that's really changed all of Peter Pan. In a new Peter Pan live action movie, it turned out he was never even from the Neverland originally. He was actually from Earth, like Wendy And get this, he actually lived in the same house as Wendy did, but years before him. And he actually returns back to Earth with her and the Lost Boys. But here's the kicker. He is even offered to stay with her for the family, but he doesn't want to be too grown up. But he says goodbye to her and the Lost Boys who wanted to stay behind on Earth. So I don't know if there's going to be a sequel to the live action Peter Pan in the future. I mean, since they did a sequel to Peter Pan 2, where Jane, the daughter of Wendy, met Peter Pan. So, and some other upcoming movies. Um, okay, Lilo and Stitch is one of the live actions that was suggested in some years now, but it hasn't even been given any official release date at the moment. Others that's gonna be Moana. Um, Also, is gonna be released as a live action since that movie was made 2016, but it still hasn't even been given any official date. Hercules also is gonna be a live action. Still no date of any name of that. Hunchback of Notre Dame, or as in this case, only known as Hunchback, also live action. Sword in the Stone, the original movie was made in 1963, but this is going to be a live action also, but still hasn't been given any title, hasn't even been given um, hasn't even given any official release date. Then there is two movies which hasn't even been given any official title at the moment. One is named Untitled Cruella Sequel, um, Untitled Prince Anders film. Prince Anders is he actually appeared in the first Aladdin live action as the prince that was offered to marry Princess Jasmine in the start. I don't understand how he will get his very own movie. I mean, basically, he only appeared just only for only a few minutes in the beginning of the movie, and he is already getting his own movie. I mean, that guy was Prince Anders was actually based on the same character, the same prince in the from the original movie, um, where Raja was biting his pants. That prince was pretty much. I do believe that was at least that Prince Anders is based on him, and a few others live action movies that's gonna be also. But those three remaining has also no official release date on. And those three are Bambi, Robin Hood, and the Aristocats. The Aristocats. Oh, now that's a good movie. I mean, the song "Everyone Wants to Be a Cat." Oh, I love that song. It's very catchy. I mean, it's so catchy. It is, and despite the movie, the original was supposed to taking place around 1910, just before the First World War. Um, I mean, one of the one of the cats looked almost being wearing as almost like if it's playing jazz or something. Um, I don't know if you because I did see the movie once again actually yesterday on Disney Plus. But before the movie started, there were this type of not like I wouldn't say a warning, but it contained some sort of short information of how people back then preceded the stereotype cultures like Chinese or that, or I mean, one of the cats was a Siamese cat was acting like that, and it's I don't know if that's actually in all. in every country so that's streaming service about. But the third and the last of the live action adaptations that's gonna be made, but which hasn't even given an official release date yet, which is Robin Hood and Bambi. So Bambi's gonna be a live action and Robin Hood as well. Okay, first when I first heard all about this, the live action movies that was gonna be as adaptations, like I mean, when I first heard about, say, um, when I first heard about, um, see, okay, I can give one example. Dumbo, the flying elephant. I've seen that original movie so many times I even lost count on it. I mean, that's a classic movie. That one was made in 1941, just before and by the end of the World War II. I know that Game Guy has seen that movie and he likes this as well. But here's the thing: they changed a lot. I mean, a huge part in that movie compared to the old one. In the new one, the crows, and from at least I understand, they never appeared. Um, and the mouse, he didn't even appear in Dumbo remake. And that, by the end of the movie, in the first that made of Dumbo, he and his mother was traveling on a train, but in the live action, they sent him with along his mother to India, where they were accepted in an elephant herd in an elephant reservation. That was a huge difference. And even though I hadn't even seen Dumbo, but based on what I read about that, yeah, I'm not gonna go see that movie at all. I mean, based on other live action movies they did, um, one that they actually did was let's see here, what was it? The 101 Dalmatians. The live action was from 1996, and the second one in the 2000. I've seen both of those live actions movies, and I'll tell you, they are not even remotely as close as the original movie. I wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be another remakes of those movies that in some far future. I mean, if I mean they have made Cinderella, Jungle Book. Okay, Jungle Book they have made a few over the years. So, um, Beauty and the Beast with Emma Watson as Belle. Well, I hadn't even seen that movie, and I don't tell you though, although it was it's at least they introduced her mother once again into the movie, and Belle's mother was supposed to be in the original movie, but she never ended up in that movie since they made some there was some budget cuts, I believe it was something like that, and they never made her in it. And Belle was even supposed to have a younger sister, but she never even made up in the movie as well. And um, yeah, so it was a lot of difference on the movies. That's, I mean, Christopher Robin. I had it actually never seen that movie either. I mean, I never saw Dumbo. I even seen the Lion King live action. I had even seen Lady and the Tramp. I had even seen Pinocchio, Milan. Oh yeah, Milan. Based on what I understand, what I read about it, she actually has a younger sister in that movie. And only in the first movie they made from 1998, she was the only child in the family. And the dragon, I don't think, at least, I don't think they actually made with Mushu, the dragon, actually appear in the movie. Um, but one of the things that they actually had uh, a young scene in the movie with Milan was younger, and and they have this powerful witch with shape shifting abilities. Um, yeah, that never even happened in the original movie either. I mean, it's and yeah, I mean, it never even was anything like it. They even made Mulan sequel, which is currently in development. I'm saying that it's yeah. So when I first saw Aladdin 2019, I was quite excited actually in the first. I was so really excited about to see the movie since I love the original movie from I think it was from 1992. But first time I saw the movie, I was probably like what 5 6 years old. I mean, I loved the original. When I first saw it, I immediately fell in love that and with Disney. And then when I heard a live action movie for adaptation, a remake of the original Aladdin, I was like, I am so excited to see if there's gonna be if they will try to make it act in as a live action. I mean, considering how much in the green screen and the CGI technology have evolved in the past 20 to 30 years, it's incredible. But when they did have the movie on the premiere when I went to see it, all I can say it was a lot of different changes in that. There were a lot of different scenes in the movie that was not even remotely. I mean, they claimed in that where the scene of Jasmine was singing. Okay, okay, not bad, not bad. I mean, I am actually proud, like, at least quite excited they made her having a scene of her singing and how the genie, or as Will Smith playing the role as a genie, not bad, not bad. I mean, Will Smith, he's actually a very bad, not say I won't say bad, but he's a very good actor, and he's a funny character in many movies before. So I mean, Will Smith is as genie, not a bad choice. I mean, he had played so many other shows and out there in it before, but and having that as another character as Jasmine's, I'll say this maid, not too bad either. I mean, a new character in the movies, not a bad choice. I mean, even though that she never had any in in the original movie, but adding a new one, it's not a bad idea. But having the genie fall in love with Jasmine's maid, and that he asked Aladdin for only one wish to be free, but to be human. Okay, that's completely ruins all that just franchise though. And considering that um, Aladdin, in 2019 version, from what I stand, um, yeah, here's what I said. Find out. Um, see here. Sequel is it has speculated that they may also come from his frustration. One of the people actually thought that struggle for Disney in developing an Aladdin sequel, and a year before deciding to remake Aladdin, there were an announcement in 2015 that they would be making a live action prequel of the movie under the title Genies. They were going to focus on the genie and their realm and how Aladdin's genie ended up in a lamp. But the writers, unfortunately, reportedly, the film was scrapped. So that movie was canceled. and now it's gonna be a spin-off movie based on this the Prince Anders. First of all, why would they make a movie of one particular character which has only a few minutes of screen time? It's really doesn't even make sense that. Sure, he only had a few minutes of speaking lines in the movie from the start, but it's nothing like he was a very much important character otherwise. He was only one of the, I mean, assumingly that was among many um lines of men, a line of men that wanted to marry her, Jasmine. But well, I'll tell you, Prince Anders as a small minor role in the line 2019 is gonna have his own movie. Um, yeah, I think that has just been odd. I mean, he only had a few minutes in the movie. I know that I may say I hate live action movies, and I have a reason for that. But I can understand that Disney want to remake those classical movies in order to focus on the new generation of younger children, which I don't mind, and I can understand the concept. I mean, despite how many of our generation, our parents' generation, and our grandparents' generation was pretty much around for. I mean, Disney had inspired us for between 3 or 4 generations by now, and now the live action movie is gonna be that. Okay, I was like, not a bad choice, but well, who knows? I mean, like I said though, game guy. I mean, Pocahontas. That was the movie that was gonna be canceled. That was scrapped from the very start. And and also, speaking of movies that's upcoming for the future for next few years, um, Zootopia is having a sequel, and it is we're currently in development. Even though the first movie came out 2016, and the movie was even only about a year later, there was suggested that Zootopia 2 and 3 were in, well, I would say the development was considered. But now the second movie will be released. And as we all know, Frozen, when it first came out back in 2013 with the song Let It Go, which stuck on many people's heads for a long time. Yeah, that song. But Frozen, when it came out, it one of the that was actually one of the huge profit movies at the time. And the sequel to Frozen came out 2019, and now Disney's CEO only early this year actually announced Frozen 3 is currently in the development. But I do suspect that movie might not even be premiered this year. I do suspect either next year or 2025 at least. And that is not the only other movie that's also in currently development. I mean, currently, oh, you know, um, what was the question that Aladdin going to wear to prom with many options? Well, true. I mean, we don't even know about that. Um, Game guy, how many of the Toy Story movies have you seen so far? You seen in the last one they made, the fourth one? Hmm. Well, it's lately also been confirmed Toy Story 5 is currently in development. But here's the thing, we have no idea what's going to happen in that movie. I saw 1, 2, and 3 movie, but the fourth, no. And I did read about it, and that shockingly, that one of the original characters from the two first movies about I don't remember her name, but the one who had this the sheeps, she actually reappeared in the fourth movie. But here's the thing, she wasn't even a toy at all. She was supposed to be a part of a lamp, a disc lamp. But when she came alive, she could leave that. And has seen how Andy gave his remaining toys to Bonnie, it's not a bad idea either. I mean, I can understand that he wanted to either have them just pass them on to someone else, or even have them in a box in his mom's house. But here's the thing about that: we couldn't have known if his we don't wouldn't known if Andy's mom would still remain in the house because his sister was a teenager. And eventually, when she moves out from college to high school, eventually will go to college. Then, well, by the time that happens, Andy has probably finished college or university, or I don't remember exactly what he wants to. But it's also that happened. It's a possibility that his mom might just simply move from that big house to a smaller. And I mean, it is not known if Andy would move back home to staying with his mom for a time to find someplace. I mean, it would have been weird for him to bring his toys to college or university, and if he had a roommate and that he had to hide those toys every single time, yeah, it's not a not very much a good idea otherwise. But the idea that Woody just choose to leave his friends and Bonnie to go stay with his toys at this carnival and to help them to find them a home to their new families. I was shocked when I read about that story, the part that on the movie. I was like, it's. I mean, the movie was not a bad concept. Have you seen Lightyear, Game Guy, the movie? Well, it's well, basically, in that movie, it's supposed to be since um, well, basically, in the most part of the so the concept that the movie and is supposed to be based on a real event in that franchise, and that the toy franchise and the toys of Lightyear were supposed to be based on a TV show, and that the TV show was supposed to be based on a real event. So it doesn't really make sense because if you do ask me here, like for example, in the movie Lightyear, they had this huge ship and it traveled 4 million light years to another planet. Okay, first, if that happened, they're not even no longer in our galaxy because 4 million light years. Well, our galaxy isn't even that big in across by. I believe it's only about at least I believe it's 100 or 150,000 light years. So 4 million is not even remote to that either. And if it's 4 million, that is even further away from as the Andromeda. because that galaxy is located only 2.5 million light years from us. So I doubt it's even 4 million. I would say miss 4,000, 4.6 thousand light years. So, and here's that really confused to me because since the movie Lightyear is supposed to be based on a real event in that franchise that they travel from Earth to a new into deep space, and and if that's supposed to be happening real, and and that's and since the first movie of Toy Story was supposed to be taking place in well in uh, in early more towards the late 90s, around 95. And that's if that's what's going to be based on a real life Earth, yeah, I would say not possible because we never, first of all, we didn't even had this his space rockets even anything remote to that. But then, of course, it's hard to say exactly though. But um, Emperor Surge, he appeared in that movie. Spoiler alert: that's Buzz as Emperor Surge. Yeah, and since Buzz made a like mistake, which made the whole ship crashed, and they built a colony eventually, but over time, um, he um, he still was a test pilot for the finding the right fuel in order to mix it, find the right mix in order to be able to lead, to make the whole ship to leave the planet. There's only was a small problem that every time when he was in orbit around when he tested, he was the first one to take 4 minutes, but when he came back, it hasn't even been 4 minutes. It has been 4 years. Time dilation effect. And each time when he did this, the more years passed on the planet. But for him, only a few minutes. But for them, it passed years. He saw he saw one of his best friends growing up, fall in love, have a son. Seeing her son finished supposed high school level and even getting old. And that friend was married with a woman. So yeah, so and he get to know her granddaughter. So basically, he spent in orbit around the time, even if it was only a few minutes. But for on the planet, I believe it was a total of 62 years. I think it was like that. And the Emperor's Urge as Buzz, well, it is, but he was from an ultimate timeline, and he was an older version of Buzz, much older.
Mm.
I believe the Buzz in the movie that's the main as a protagonist, he was I would say maybe in his early 30s, but the older Buzz I would say maybe early to late 60s perhaps, and he actually did find an alien spaceship where he learned how the technology operated, and he wanted to go back in time to prevent the crash on the planet in the first place. But yeah, which never happened. And yeah, it's really strange that concept. I mean, but some of the other movies of, let's say, the live actions that they had made of Lion King, or even yeah, so and especially that. a company in England made this horror slasher movie of Winnie the Pooh, Honey in Blood, and that they talked about making a sequel to that one, and even to make even a slasher version of Peter Pan and even Bambi. I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Uh yeah, I was just nope. And despite I did see clips of uh, the original movie, the bloody of the slasher Winnie the Pooh on YouTube, shouldn't have done it because I had a little restless nights for a little while there, but now not much any problems at all. I mean, I wouldn't have been surprised if they were actually doing that. I mean, they made Sonic XC as a slasher god complex character. I mean, they made even where Eggman made Tails doll, and so why not? But still, and what's next? A slasher movie based on the MLP? That would have been really weird.
Yeah, but it would have been more possible than Winnie the Pooh.
True. I mean, a lot of the movies franchise out there. I mean, first, if you go back to the 30s and 40s within Disney, some of the concepts that we have today, like same gender relationships, were not being accepted in those movies because to them back then was not even generally accepted. In fact, several states in the United States were actually at the time in the 50s weren't even was actually illegal for a black person to marry a white person. Some states it was perfectly legal, but others they were illegal because one couple actually did married in one state. They lived in Virginia, where the fact at the time were illegal, but they married in one state that were legal. But despite knowing, or they, I don't think they even knew it was legal back home. So one night, the sheriff and his some of his men arrested both the couple, and they had to spend in jail, I believe, for 1 year. And they were after they were released, they were told they are not allowed to step their foot neither in their hometown or anywhere else in the state. So they had to move to Washington, D.C., and they lived there for some years, in I believe it's mid 60s, until their oldest son was hit by a car, survived, of course. So they realized that Washington D.C. was a lot more crime. There was a lot more happening there compared to in that small hometown that they used to live in. So despite that, they went back home, and well, actually, they didn't do that. But the husband went back home, and they tried to reach out to some to have this law removed. So they approached one person, a lawyer. Unfortunately, the lawyer was couldn't be doing much help. But the lawyer did actually help them with one thing. That actually suggested they approach another type of organization, American Civil Liberal Rights, which they did, and they actually brought this to Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court actually approved and actually have the whole system had this law that prevented them from even being living in their own state being removed. And from that day, the other states that followed the same rule also had that law removed. So now people from black, white could actually living together, get married, and even have a family without being prosecuted. But unfortunately, they still have some problems in the American South. Well, I would say this happens a lot, but it still happens there that some white communities target black people. There were, in fact, one case that I saw this on the FBI files about a month ago. This was actually in the 60s. This group of people from Washington, from New York, they wanted to give travel to the South to inform the black community about them to have the same rights of voting. They want to inspire them to do that. Unfortunately, what happened? Three guys, two white and one black, traveled down there to prepare things first, but they were arrested for no charge at all, and they were not even actually was even allowed for one phone call, which is the standard now these days. But after they left the station, they were never found ever again. Well, sometime after that, they were found buried. I believe it was 10 or 20 feet below in the sand. They had been murdered, but eventually, because they were found, and the person who did it turned out to was a sheriff and a deputy sheriff and a few other people. So they have it really much. They even if they wanted to have it retrialed today, it would have been a small problem. All the reports, every all the files were destroyed in a fire, and this was actually ordered by the judge. In that case, every single file had to be burned after the case was over, so that wouldn't even have to be retrialed. And honestly, a judge that was actually really much gave the order all the case files of this particular case had them burned after the case was over. It was just it's unbelievable. And if you go back into like say, I mean, you probably heard about this organization, um, Triple K. Have you?
Nope.
Cloak Like Can?
Doesn't ring a bell.
Ku Klux Klan?
Oh, yes, them.
Yeah. Here's the thing. Even in the 20s, they had 4 million members. But today, it's not even close to even 10,000. It's estimated between 6 and 8,000. But despite that, it's it's a very dangerous. If you were a black person and then come across them, oh boy, yeah, I'd say it's not what you wanted to do. It's yeah, I mean back then, and like that law that was removed in the 60s that was making two mixed couple to live. It was actually, I believe, it was one of the last remnants of the Civil War era, because back then in the Civil War, the black people was considered property, not even they weren't even considered as citizens. And if a slave had managed to escape and was recaptured, could have been ended up being severely beaten, whipped, or worse, killed. And the people that managed to help them to escape, if they were caught, killed, no matter what. And thanks to this underground railroad, they managed to save a lot of people from the plantations in the south to Canada. But I don't remember. I don't think, or at least I don't know how many people they managed to save from the slavery to the freedom in Canada in the 1860s. I mean, being a slave and managed to be escaped into freedom was just it's something. I mean, the slaves could buy themselves free, but if you manage to free yourself by buying you free, and you move to the states where slavery was abolished, and if you would traveled to the south, despite they have documentation and papers showing you were a free person, but in the south at the time, those papers were useless. They wouldn't mean nothing to you. Because if our slavers would see that, they would just simply take those papers, either rip them apart or even burn them. Because to them, those papers were worth nothing. They would mean nothing to you. And if you were, but it happened that even slavers could be even travel to the North States and grab those former slaves and bring them back to slavery. It's hard to be even imagine that lifestyle. But here's one this story was actually very much inspired to me because during the 1850s, just before the Civil War even happened, there were actually one African American that managed to buy himself free and his wife because she was expecting her first child at the time, or one of the children she had. She and his and her husband named Frank, they managed to travel from the state they were living in to another state to start a new life. And he actually was managed to buy this property, a plot of land, and eventually he bought more land and more of his family out of slavery from the same place. And eventually he started to build a city, well, a small town by the name New Philadelphia. And this town blossomed. It was flourishing for some time. And it was actually not only black people living there. There were white people living among them. And in fact, this even during the 1860s in the Civil War era, this town will still flourish. And there were no problems for the white people living with the white people, the black and the whites. They still live in harmony. But his only problem is that the town was eventually abandoned um, because the railroad that was put a new directions that will pass by that area. So eventually, people slowly abandoned the city and this New Philadelphia, and eventually it became abandoned. But it actually have been rediscovered and been excavations to study some of the people who lived there, and they have found a lot. And the landowner actually cut the grass as showing where the houses did once stood and showing the signs on the streets and all that. It's incredible. Like one town during the 1850s and even during the Civil War in the 1860s, where black people and white people live in small town all together in harmony. Despite around the time when the Civil War happened, a lot of black people wasn't even considered as free people. It's incredible in that. And look. Do we have one particular friend here? Uh, our friendly blueberry silver moon.
You asshole!
I mean, you are blue there, dude. I mean, I couldn't resist. Don't worry, I will change back.
You can be such an asshole with the name changes, I swear to you.
I mean, okay, I'd rather be blueberry than rather something that's very embarrassing. Embarrassing. And if you
Mm,
were if you were yellow, if your picture was yellow, I would call you banana or
I
lemon.
wouldn't.
Or
I wouldn't
lemon.
have mind if you. I wouldn't have mind if you gave me a lemon meringue name.
Hmm. Probably one day. I
I
mean,
mean,
you
if
have
I
so
was
many
yellow
else.
and white with a little bit of dark gold, as if I looked like a pony formed out of lemon meringue pie.
Hmm. Yeah.
And I'm currently
So
just waiting. I'm currently waiting for Dashi to, get back and respond as we're continuing the role play, as we're at the part of the trial that we're doing in a courthouse, and my character is about to go full Jack McCoy of Law and Order on a stallion inside the courtroom.
hmm. You know, haven't even talked that much lately. I mean, except for on Discord, on Facebook for sometimes this week. But um, the only thing that he asked me that was about his story about him Dashi with what
Paper
was it?
trail.
Yeah, that one. Um, yeah. Here's about what he asked me about the story. This is actually what he said. Come on, where is it? Here we go. This was what he said about what his idea. Uh, see here. Where Dashi stands up for stops Skystinger from mistreating Vapor Trail, and Dashi gets beat up by him. And Vapor Trail sees him doing it, and she breaks up with him, and the main six stops him from doing more harm to this, and like a cutie mark mission. And if Vapor Trail stands by her side,
Well,
well,
well, I do hate to burst his bubble, but if this was a Wonderful Academy scene, only Rainbow Dash would have been more, and the Wonder Balls would have been the ones to probably try and break it up, because
mm-hmm,
in our role plays, Dashy has considered Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy sisters to her, and she's always been wanting to fall in love with Rarity along with a few
yeah.
others.
And here's another part that while Heroes recover, but Twilight is furious that her godson was beat up. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Um, yeah, I might do some changes.
Godson?
That's yeah, godson. Apparently that he made Skystinger godson of Twilight. Yeah, and here's the thing: we don't
Um,
even know. But here's the thing, though: we don't even know if they even use the term Godfather, Godmother, and Godbrother, or something like that in the show. I mean,
I
the
mean,
word God.
I mean,
It's
in
just
our role play, I think we've had Twilight Sun Sunlight see Flash Magnus as like a godfather, almost like an idol. Besides
true.
his father Flash Sentry and his uncle Shining Armor.
And here's the though: what do you think when they say in a show? Do you think they use the term "mere friend" as a girlfriend?
It makes sense though. I mean, they're not
No,
humans.
nope. They use girlfriend actually. I gave you one scene they actually. You remember the scene where CMC tried to help Big Mac to find his true love for Hearts Forming Eve, Hearts and Hoops Day,
Mm,
where the scene Caramel is kissing Amare when she's still sweet about pointing out what was the Scootaloo that unless his girlfriend doesn't like it idea or something. So yeah, but if they were that, I mean, if they were to use Mare friend, what about the stallion? Would it be stallion friend? It would have been a little bit odd.
nah, if it, I mean, they could have gone both ways to say mere friend and cold friend, as well
True.
besides girlfriend and boyfriend.
Mm. Yeah, that makes
But
sense.
considering it's a ponies world, the first set would have actually made more sense. Considering what we're seeing on TV is ponies.
Yeah, I mean, and as is the elements of justice, like I said yesterday, we don't even like in that series is about that their justice system is near identical to the humans. But in the show, we never even have any scenes of any court scene or anything like that. And in fact,
Mm,
even though in the comics, even in the comics that do in fact they have some police officers appearing, but in reality in the show we never seen anything like that. And another thing is we
Um,
don't even and
didn't we almost see something like that in the one episode where Rainbow was in the hospital and she tried to steal the Darren Do book that Twilight gave her while she was there with her injured wing?
uh I would believe so, I think. But here's
I
another
mean,
thing.
that was one of the most examples of seeing officers in the show.
Yeah, I would believe so. But here's another part. Uh, we don't know if Equestria even have any form of military, because the Wondables are an acrobatic entertainment team, and the Royal Guards, which is only protecting the royal families, and they don't have the duty to protect the whole society or the general public. And I mean, we never seen anything like was anything close to the Air Force, the Navy, or the Marines or anything. The only Navy that we have seen was the Hippogriffs Navy, because Rockoff was one trying to use that. But that is the only
True,
Navy that
but
otherwise.
if you give it some
Um,
thoughts, Swedish, consider how each of the royal guards are trained. It would make you think a question that they were meant to be in the army, as if they were as if they had skills to do so.
True, but here's another thing about that. We don't even know. I mean, for example, where does the Royal Guard train? They never mention of any academy. I mean, it's like if someone said, "Oh, they travel at their training there at the Wonderful Academy," small problem with that. Small problem. The Royal Guard doesn't only consist of Pegasi; they also consist of unicorns and Earth ponies. So it would be impossible for a unicorn for Earth pony to be in Cloudsdale. Unicorns, they can. They can use a spell to walk on clouds. But here's another problem with that. It they it's not known how long the spell will even last. At least, um, I mean, I don't think that they mentioned it in the show when the main six went to Cloudsdale when Pinky is of the clouds. It's one that mentioned that she had a spell. I don't know, but if she did mention it, I don't know. But yeah, so like I said, we have no idea if that particular spell if it has a time limit, if it only lasts for a few hours, or if it lasts for I don't know a day, or if it's permanently otherwise, or if they have to repeat the spell frequently for in order to be stay on the clouds. So, I mean, it wouldn't make sense if you had to be in a cloud sale or the Wonderbolt Academy for training the roller guards. I believe that it had to be in a ground academy. I mean, just imagine that. Because, I mean, it's like since Channing Armor, he used to be the captain of the Royal Guard in Cantonot until he reassigned as to be the co-ruler of the Empire. And at some point years later, Gallus, he became the royal captain, the captain of the Royal Guard. So, in
Mhm.
precise exact, so where are the Royal Guard training? The Wonderworld Academy, which I doubt, unless that the Pegasi travel there for their own training. I mean, okay, what if they actually had separated academies? One which on the ground that's only mainly for unicorns and earth ponies, and that the Wonderful Academy for Pegasi. Okay,
Mhm.
in a way that could work, But if they're training on the same place, it's probably I can only imagine. I can only imagine if they're a Royal Guard Academy. I can only imagine it as a vision as going to be based on as real, like the military bases that we have on Earth in our world, like barracks. There, the guards living, and they have this big mess, and they perhaps have some obstacle course or training track of some place where they training like running, doing some the training the guard stuff they would do, and they have one uh, emergency like infirmary and one building for senior officers, like say a coach. And I mean, if that's like true, I mean, if that's true, if they have like that, and if they have a base or some sort of like academy, I mean, it wouldn't have been like they would have one commander, like say Spitfire. She's the captain of the team, and also the commander. She's the like the highest rank in the Wonderful Academy place. So if it is like that, I mean, the thing about it's like the police academy. They have one main rule. They have one main leader or commander there, but they have one above him. So I would say probably if they had a role guard academy, they probably have it being based on like a human military type of academy. Barracks for the guards living in, one that had their mess hall, their training area, and emergency or infirmary, and one where the senior staff lives. I mean, that could something I could imagine to like, and I do think you will agree on that, though. Is my right?
Uh, I sup- I guess so. But I want to ask you one other thing. Do you think at any point, any one of us watching the show would have dare second named the Wonderful Academy the Blue Angels Academy? Because each of their suits are blue with a gold lightning bolt right on them, and every Blue Angel plane that has served the Navy is blue with a gold stripe.
Yeah, it's is not a bad idea there. Considering that, I mean, it's possible. I
I
mean,
mean, the Blue Angels are a performance group, so are the Wonderbolts, and they're wearing the exact same
exactly.
pairs of colors.
Yeah, and even if the rule guard, I mean, as the many academies around the world, like to say the Navy here in the US, you have the Navy SEALs, and and in the Army you have the Black Ops, and the Marines you have something similar to that. So if that in a Royal Guard academy in an Equestria, I would not be surprised if that academy is having also training. If the commander and the training or say like a sergeant is training the guards, and he is detecting each guard, one of the guards in training had a potential to be put in a special group of royal guards. Like we said, like if they would have someone that's could be in given one particular division, dividing it one group that's going to be mainly focused on protecting um, the royal family, or maybe that Celestia and Luna could perhaps have their own personal bodyguards now they're retired. Like in the US, like say the president, like Biden, he has a Secret Service. Trump, Obama, and Bill Clinton, who is still much the former president, they also still have the Secret Service along with them as a bodyguards. Although I don't know if it lasts for their entire life or if it's only for some years afterwards. But assuming if that's that, I mean, what if the Royal Academy in Equestria have one special training, or they actually have some of the most best for performers guards still acts as a bodyguard for the foreign princesses. I would not be surprised if they actually, I mean, the royal guard as an Equestria is like the secret service. I mean, imagine this, they're basically the same type of role there. And if they have an academy, I would not be surprised if they actually do have some special divisions in their training. Like if someone would have been secret agents or undercover guards undercover in. I mean, well, like the if unicorns guards would have been using a spell that could transform them to shapeshifting. Now, with since Gallus is actually the first non pony character, which is a guard. So, assuming if that changelings could have been part of the real guard, and if they would have developed in this
Mm,
type of
or
underground
dragons. Or dragons.
dragons, yeah,
I could see a smolder as one.
hmm yeah, and that the changelings could have been divided in a special um, part of a special division or a special troop at they are mainly cover the main role is to protecting the guards mainly, but the other main guard duties is to undercover. I mean, if there are any threats to the society, they would be the perfect infiltrator. I mean, naturally their abilities to shapeshift, they would have been perfect spies for the royal
Um,
guard to do.
but Swedish, we were talking about the recent episode of the Elements of Justice yesterday with various arrests. Last night, I had an interesting thought of what could have maybe been a little bit of a motive on Rarity. If you have, if did you watch the parts of the overall concept case before they went to the Crusader case,
Um, I think so.
where they did
Why?
the trial with Coco and Suri and those parts?
Yeah, I do believe so.
In the first, in the part where you know Coco and them were in the waiting room, and when Coco said, with what the prince said, with him wanting to propose to me, was that true? And then Rarity, had that tone of voice of a little sadness by telling her that he we asked requested Rarity to find a special gem. There could have maybe they're probably thinking there could have been a little bit of jealousy of with Rarity in between the friendship in going on with Coco and overall as a possible motive.
Makes sense.
I mean, that was just a thought that I had last night. And I wanted to get your opinion on that, possibly.
Yeah, I mean, it's something I could see happening. And as the next episode is going to be released on that, when the trial and investigation about Rarity's involvement in this case, you know, I at least hope that it's not going to be like this. That it's not like they're going to repeat the same of the some of the previous cases, like they use the same concept again, because it will be like, wow, there's again.
Deja
Okay,
vu.
yeah, like that. So, but if they do had that Pinky and Fluttershy know something about this case, yeah, I mean, as Pinky or as Twilight did comment that Pinky looks so tired, more than usual that she usually is. Yeah, I was really surprised at that.
I haven't seen this one reel yet, but I might look forward to seeing it. The the reel of Rainbow talking to Phoenix at during
Hmm.
the night.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say right now for the elements of justice. I mean, I mean, it wouldn't have been surprised if they actually decide if this was gonna be more episodes in the future, or if this is gonna be the last one they made with Rarity being, and in the end, where the Phoenix Wright and his team are decided to go back to Earth, and that and Twilight and her friends decides to be in the next
I mean,
form of
the,
attorney, something like that.
I
I
mean,
mean,
it would be possible for it would be possible. The one thing I would dare to see is Celestia fire and equity and maybe having a Phoenix and his attorneys, have their own little office as they've been, uh,
yeah,
you know, professional like.
it makes sense. But another thought about that. I mean, now that the Phoenix Wright and his friends and his daughter, adopted daughter, is in Equestria, question is how much time passes in a human world compared when now they're there. If for the same time has passed for them, or if the time goes much slower for them or faster, considering that there are two different dimensions. And I I mean, it's still an interesting idea. And oh, how about this? What if? I mean, what if the Phoenix and the others decides to, I don't know, settle down in Equestria permanently, or to decide to open this another office in Equestria, like maybe in Ponyville, and that they found a way to travel from Equestria to the human world by an amulet or something, a magical artifact, so they can travel back and forward, and that they have something, some way to communicate like Sunset has. Put this book or something that they can write a message to Twilight, and
Ooh.
when they need her, if they need her friends in order to help this big case or something, if they could just perhaps send one of them, maybe Apollo or Athena or even Phoenix, or all of them together, or just one of them. I mean,
I would
it's sort of,
love to see Sunset Shimmer make an appearance.
oh, oh, did you know? I did actually see when we get to see Phoenix, Apollo in the crowd, as in the audience. On the other side, I actually did see a fan-made character, Vespio,
Uh, but
aka the Wall alternator, the Wolf. I don't even pronounce the name. But Vespio, he's actually one of the Brony communities analysts. He um, he actually he made the voice Discord for write a Discord than a Discord.
here's another thing of what we have to of what I'm trying to think of right now. First off, they've had Trixie as a lawyer. They've had Prince Blue Blood as a lawyer. They've had Princess Luna as actually they've had all three of those as prosecutors actually. But my question, sorry, I don't know why I was thinking lawyers and all that. Probably because it was Phoenix Wright's in the series. So,
Okay, I can see
but
Luna as
but my
one.
can I see him real quick?
Right.
But my thought is with if the second case is continuing of Overall's murder, are they going to have Prince Blue Blood back as the prosecutor or bring someone else? And if so,
Heck
who on
no.
earth is that
Hope.
prosecutor going to be?
Yeah, I hope not, because he's the worst of that. I mean, every time the first when he appeared in as one, oh, yeesh, he was so bad. Oh, have you seen uh okay, this
I
is actually
Go
I mean
ahead, go ahead, go ahead.
there is another one, a CGI version, called Gmod version of MLP, where Shadow the Hedgehog travels to Questia, or at least been summoned to, where Mephiles is teaming up with Sombra and Chrysalis. where Sombra, not Shadow, actually was fighting against Blue Blood in a sort of tournament in the Crystal Empire, and that Shadow was a pony that was transformed into one by help of Discord. And of course, he could transform back to Hedgehog by just thinking about it. So basically, um, did beat Blue Blood easily. But then
you
there
know,
were,
uh, again, go ahead.
I believe there was actually even Flash Sentry in that same series when he was also in those contests against someone. He actually was faster than Rainbow in speed.
And yet, and you did that when you made the true love story with Flash and Rainbow.
Wait, I did?
You, when Flash and Rainbow met and they had a little race, Flash beat her. You had that happen.
Hmm. I don't remember that.
Well, it was either that one or the one of Rainbow with Spitfire.
Well, I've been considering though, but just considering that since that story was made back in 2015, so that's about almost 8 years ago. Yeah, so I don't even remember all details, even the most recent story or even the most the last ones I did.
But
Though,
my
but
my
here's one of
favorite.
but the most recent story that I did, Apple Blood, Alpha Battle with Haven is actually a canon couple now, based on the web series Tell You Tell.
All right. But you know what? My favorite part of the case of Orwell's murder death what was for me. It was the part where the judge went off on Prince Blue Blood for withholding evidence and trying to make who was the stallion that ran the theater, making sure everything runs on schedule. Playwright, making him say what he wanted him to say instead of speaking the actual truth. When the judge went off on him, and Prince Bluebird goes, "Your Honor," and all that, and then in the later on a bit where you know the judge defends uh, Phoenix against Prince Blood, and Phoenix goes, "Wow, the judge really defended me there. I'm flattered."
Yeah.
That was funny.
I'll be right back.
Uh, so you have a new computer?
Oh my god, what is this? You're acknowledging my existence? It's insanity.
I saw it through Discord, but
Yeah,
no, I am not kidding when I said to you I have the exact same model.
yeah, I was refusing to work for a bit, but now I've got it going, so. Working so far. Hopefully it won't break or do whatever it was that happened to old Chrome. Still not sure what happened there, but hey, at least now I got a new device.
Uh, I kind of did maybe a little bit of a roast with my character during me and Dashy's second roleplay with this trial, where a pony came in and threw in a blue paper um, as a court order to declare the entire trial a mistrial and a scam to being shown on television. And my character Malachi, he read it and was like, "Oh heck no!" And having a suspicion on something, he followed this stallion to the courtroom's door, yanked him backwards, shut the door, had a guard take the paper to have it go test it and see if it was real or a forgery. And I had the stallion say, "What are you doing?" I said, "No." Uh, you probably might not have laughed at this, but I said, "No. What is wrong with you? Coming in here in a suit and your hair looking like you walked right out of the most recent Franken Cole horror movie." And I had Dashy as Applejack very uh saying, he he said as Applejack, "You just got served," and he said as very, "You just got burned." Although he spelled it Bearn instead of Burn.
What?
I, s- I swear it must have been like a phone correction or something. Because I already typed a bit too fast.
I don't understand a single word you just said, by the way.
if I could, if I could,
To be
if I
fair,
could,
can you blame me? First of all, I've never seen any of the role plays you and Dashy have. I don't have Facebook. And second
I'm
of all, you
just,
never
I'm
talk
just,
about them in Discord.
I was only just letting you know
I
where
know
we
you
are
were
so
letting
far.
me know, but how was I supposed to know if how can I be a part of this conversation if I don't know what the hell you guys are talking about?
Hmm.
That's why I went quiet. I didn't
Mm.
know what to talk about. I couldn't really talk about anything. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Boy, I'm back. My stomach
Sorry,
is not friendly today. Oy.
sorry. I was sharing with Game Guy something from me and Dashy's roleplay, and he just went silent.
There was actually one other person I was hoping to show up, Hayden, because he wanted to do this smash and bash, smash and pass, but that clown has not even showed up on Discord. So, not happening.
And Kovo's
Unless
been
the Roy,
very quiet as of lately,
yeah,
recently.
unless the Roy is there.
Nope.
Yeah, we can always do that another time. And like I said earlier, in the start of the stream, but that was before even game got showed up. How his reaction of how big are the pancake domes on the planet Venus? That was just priceless. Uh, and even as Malachite said in the comments about that, what did he say? Um, At the beginning of the best other part of the stream, just amazingly the best segment ever done in a game show stream, hands and hoops down. Yeah, but honestly though, pancake domes. I mean, a feature of one of our neighbor planets that name has the name pancake. I mean, could you guys ever imagine anything that has any features on any other moons or planets that's anything that remotely has something to do with a name that's involved about food? Did you guys ever imagine that though?
Not really.
Uh,
I mean, this type of features on Venus, which has the name pancake domes. I mean, I mean, that was the word. That were the funniest I ever read about. I mean, when I first found that text, that on Wikipedia, I was like, pancake
Yeah, did you
domes.
see my? Yeah, did you see what I said about the picture you shared about it?
Let's see. Come on, come on, come on. You know that this picture kind of shows how almost resembling a small caterpillar. Yeah, it's kind of does. And I actually was can still believe this actually is has the name Pancake.
I mean,
I mean,
what Game Guy's reaction was the second funniest thing to you saying "batutut" in a cryptid stream.
yeah,
Second
yeah,
funniest.
definitely. Uh, well, like I said, I didn't even expecting to find any. I mean, I never even imagined it's going to be any remotely that. I mean, I never even imagined a feature of any of our neighbor planets that has something that involves, you know, the name of pancake or even a waffle or something. But it's
Mm.
it's something unique.
I mean,
I
you
mean,
never know. Maybe they'll come across an asteroid shaped like a waffle, like a square waffle.
in fact, there is actually one asteroid that's kind of resembles as a peanut.
Oh, what?
Yeah, that is.
A peanut toid? Excuse
Is
me.
it called the
Kinda.
Pegon by any chance?
Is there any jelly to go with it?
He said peanut, not peanut butter.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, this.
Are there almonds and pecans too?
Uh, I wouldn't know. It's kind of like looks like a peanut, but I'm not so sure. See. Here we go.
Well, if it is this off its nut.
Uh, come on, where is it? Um, what the heck? Where are you? Come on, you. Well, I don't want to say as it's actually resembles a peanut, but it's close. Uh, it's. I don't remember the name of it, but I think this could be it. Let's see if this is one. Um, kind of. No, that was not the one I was looking for. I mean, I will show that later on the after the stream is over. Just since I'm using StreamYard, it's slowing down my computer a little bit, so that's something I have to live with. But it's yeah, but I mean, an asteroid that's shaped as a peanut almost. It's actually like two asteroids that's put in together almost. I don't even I seen it before, but I don't remember the name of it. Come on, where are you?
Mm.
Wait. I think this is the name of it. Come on. Is this the one? Seriously. There we go. Um. Come on. Is this the right one? God dang it. Actually, I believe this is the one. Uh. See here. Come on. Yeah, I do believe this is the one that's actually um exactly what discovered back in 2014. I really don't know if this is the one. Seriously. Yeah, I will probably show that later though. But yeah, it's like an asteroid shaped as a peanut. It's very much an unexpected that. There is even one asteroid. Well, this is actually the first exo asteroid, cigar shaped. This was not like a round as those we have in asteroid belt, but this was really very much stretched out cigar shaped asteroid. I believe a cigar shaped asteroid. Yeah, this is actually known as uh I yeah, I don't know what to even pronounce this name, but uh Uma Auma Muma. Yeah, don't don't judge me because that was it. Just the has passed the orbit of Neptune and is actually on the way on our system. Huh. So yeah, so asteroids are shaped as a almost like a peanut, and now there's a cigar. What's next? Shape as a triangle, or even as the
You know,
letter as a letter,
you never
the
know.
letter
But
V.
earlier when you said mentioned something about food, if you was to bring a drink, I have that millionaire question about Saturn's moon Enceladus has that clean ice surface. If that was to if that I could just about vision if astronauts were to one day go to that moon and just bring with a whole bunch of Slurpee syrups and just cover that whole planet in different Slurpee flavors, that whole moon,
Wow.
and just call it a Slurpee moon.
Hmm.
You gotta get what I'm saying because ice is blended with making Slurpees and all that, like in slushies.
Yeah, I mean, even my dad actually started making some homemade slushy.
Really
Yep.
incredible.
You actually can do that. That's not that hard, according to him. It's just smash some ice and put the flavor that you want it to have. And he actually has two of them still in the freezer, just been let it thaw it up a little bit. So, but I mean, if you go to those store, convenience stores, or even the mall,
Hey, Switch.
you can see those machine there. Yeah.
You say we have to smash the ice? Well, personally, I would just pass it.
Oh my god, really?
What?
That is a bad pun, dude. But I get
That
it.
would have been the worst dad joke to ever come across a stream.
How dare you? Well, guess what? Well, guess what, Bucko? Next time we're doing a super duper millionaire quiz, I'm calling every single one of Malachi questions. I don't care.
Oh my god.
If you are pulling my string, then I'm going to call you. I'm going to refer to you as the Red Goblin Gamer forever.
Works for me. Sounds like I can call you the biggest blueberry on this earth.
Wherever you 100-foot tall ball of Heinz ketchup.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it.
He's he's ketchup, but you're a mustard.
I think I'll pass on tasting that ketchup.
No, I said he's
Why? Are you
ketchup,
too
you're mustard.
I really ever eat mustard. Only when it's mixed with tuna fish for a tuna fish sandwich.
What?
Yeah.
That's
Say
fucking
what now?
gross.
Say what now?
Yeah,
You
you
put
two wouldn't.
ketchup with tuna?
Not ketchup. As really, I do mix the tuna fish with mustard.
You don't put mustard on tuna fish either.
No, you mix it with it along with a bit of mayonnaise.
And what? There's one person on this earth that I would know the answer to this great mystery of life that we're having right now. If I can
And
find
it's
out where he is.
not you.
Where's Lois? I need his opinion on this.
You know, I would probably say tuna with mustard.
We
Um,
basically we my mom once in a while she buys canned tuna fish to put on bread for sandwiches, and she adds a bit of mustard along with possibly a bit of mayonnaise just for flavor. And whenever I make a sandwich, I just add a little slice of cheese just for a kick.
hmm.
That was basically what I meant by that, and it's actually not that bad.
You know, I wouldn't mind to eat some of that. I mean, I do like um, I do like tuna.
Well, at this moment, guess what I'm about to do, Swedish? I'm about to complete the hatchery time on my high sacred winged dragon.
That's cool.
They even have a redemption doom dragon. And you
Hmm.
want to talk about kick
These are
ass
starting to
dragons?
sound less
This one
like
is kick
dragons and
ass
more
for
so
both its
anime
name and look.
names.
You know, we can actually do the Dragon City after the stream is over if you want to. I mean, I doubt that Hayden will show up. So, how you been doing?
Pretty, pretty good. Um, I just wanted to show you it this once, Swedish.
Holy, 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 holy! That's a big one.
And kick ass too, with its name
Hmm.
and appearance. I mean, seriously, that is off the chart. Cool. There's also a redemption blade, um, a redemption conquest, uh, malice. There's also a redemption wrath dragon.
Is there a
And that,
redemption arc?
well, look at this one.
Who? Sheesh.
You look at his hands.
Jesus Christ, I've
Dragons
heard
with
of an
hands.
Iron Fist before, but that's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Here's another one, the redemption norm or Norn.
Hmm.
And look at the size of that blade, of that axe that he's holding. Hold how far back
Ooh.
that blade goes. That goes right over his head.
That is either an axe or a scythe.
Here's the redemption blade.
Ooh.
Ah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's cool. Here's the conquest. This one is a bit more badass than the Doom. I think this one would either suit Game Guy or Roy.
Without a doubt.
Or you. This is a brutality dragon. Look, he looks like he's carrying a bazooka.
Yeah, it does looks like it.
Holy hell.
Damn.
Yeah. And this is the mouse. Holy shit, look at the size of that sword.
Whoo! Jeez. Now
That's
that's a
your drag
big one.
that's your dragon, Swedish.
Heck yeah.
And I'll take the wolf, WULF.
Do I not get one?
Swedish.
Hmm? Huh. Underworld Dragon. And that's cool.
And he has no back legs.
Hmm.
He doesn't need them. Well, that's literally because he can just fly or whatever.
I wonder how they looks like as when a full grown.
I wonder what he looked like when he was alive.
Oh, that was so wrong.
Hey, it's a legitimate question.
Here's the High Moon Empress as a kid.
Huh. All right, though. So I think that was like for Dash.
Hmm, none taken. Um, is there? Where'd you? Oh, now I know which one I want to show you. I wasn't sure if I remember showing you this one.
Huh? And has a fish.
You have a fish in a bubble, and look what I properly named it.
Bubbles. Not
Yep,
bad name. It suits.
yep. This one I'm having a bit of trouble thinking of.
Ah, my brilliant naming skills will come in handy. I see, dragon, you say.
Iceberg.
Let's see here.
I see. Can you see?
Now, let's
Bad.
see here.
That's a bad dad joke, dude.
Oh, oh, stop it! I was only messing about. Whoever did that slow clap is going to get a kick in the ass.
That was me. You know what else? I'm playing the smallest violin for you. You won't even hear it.
Let's see here.
I is type of dragon. Hmm. Well, the only
Swedish.
other name I can think of is snowflake dragon or something like that. Snowflake or icy storm or something. Well,
Bam!
looks like Hayden is awake.
I believe you'll find a fitting name in there somewhere. There you go. Thank you very much. I do have to fix this
You know,
audio
there is
though.
actually a there is
Hello?
actually a
Hello?
blizzard dragon.
Yeah, why is my mic not? Oh, never mind. Yeah, in that case, then Blizzard's. I guess I'll just not count Blizzard. Just call it something else in that name. That's
At the
Burton.
name at the end of that second at the at the at the end of that second name that starts with RAC, is that an O or an A?
that's a no. Yeah, Burton, as in Burton.
Hmm. Good point.
I thought it was kind of smart, but I don't know. My naming skills aren't the best.
Yep, Hayden is coming in.
So how's your night, Swedish?
Hmm.
Alright. I asked how your night was.
My night has been good so far, and Mr. Hayden is back, or here. I wasn't really sure if he would even show up at all.
Wow, really? You gonna be like that to me?
No, no, I mean you were not even online on Discord.
Yeah, I try to stay breaks from Discord from time to time.
Yeah, so when we do this smash and pass, not pass, but yeah, Mama kind of won't staying. She's not into that type of game. And it will be
Yeah, right
you,
now we're just
the
seeing his dragons, but yeah, it's gonna be me, you, and Swedish.
pretty much.
Chakra dragon, also known as the juggler dragon, because he's juggling whatever the hell those things are.
Well, I might end the stream soon enough. I already passed the 2 hours mark.
All right.
Oh, Dragon City is over.
Well, see ya then.
See ya. Well, it's time to end here, so we can finally do this smash and patch so that Hayden had something to look for tonight. Wink, wink, wink.
Yeah. So
Well, everyone, has been a fun as always. See you the next time. Bye.
and goodbye.